Are there any digital marketing, any branding, any questions that you have for me before we wrap things up?
Um, yeah, like I'm getting into humanitarian work, and actually doing more work for the youth. How would I be able to digitally market that without it being too much? I don't want it. I know I have to get the brand out there, but I don't want it to where it's just a vomit on Instagram or Facebook all the time, and people were just like, is she really promoting the children and humanitarian work? I just don't want it to look like it's unethical or, yeah.
I think the best way there is what almost essentially what we're doing here is do it in the form of a podcast.
Okay.
Um, I use a podcast as a lead generator, as a content generator. I make no money on the actual podcast itself, but all of my funds and everything. It's amazing how many people a year after they're on the show are like, "Oh, remember when you talked about business cards or a website? I need that now." Because having a podcast where we just spent almost an hour, I wasn't pitching anything, I wasn't doing anything, but I was making content clips out of each and every one of those main questions that are then I'm as a marketing, as a branding person, as soon as I put that into a clip, I now have more clips on yoga. I have more clips on spirituality, mindfulness, all of those things where I'm giving that free content, or even if you put it behind a paywall, because it's kind of the way that I'm going now is where I went 2 years, I gave it all away for free. And now it's slowly building it to where it's going to be a membership to get all the access to the stuff that's on the website, meaning that $2 or $3 membership, it's a drop in the bucket. It's half the price of this cup of coffee right here. So you contribute $3, which then you see for 2 or 3 years now. I've been promoting artists and businesses and all these things out of my own time, own pocket. Now I'm asking for funding in the same way that a nonprofit is asking for funding to do the humanitarian. You're not asking for a donation. You're asking for that content membership. So you're if you said it's going with kids and that route, you would have different board members or different higher ups of different people within the either the markets that you're trying to get fundraising from, or the things if you're trying to build housing, then you get contractors, you get everybody that's involved in different pieces of the process. Make the same way we're doing here. I have a Zoom call with record, as long as it's one or two people in under 40 minutes, it's free. It costs nothing. Or ideally, if they're local, have them in the same room, the same way I have this little wall set up behind me, kind of just build that set to where you don't want, like you said, you don't want to be hounding people, give us money, give us money, we want to do nice stuff, just give us money. But if you start selling t-shirts or any other merchandise, or another thing to get into once you build a little bit of a following would be to do Facebook. If you have a Facebook account for your brand, you could do live events. So
Okay.
if I have somebody here in studio with me, I could do a live event where we charge a couple dollars for a ticket to see the behind the scenes before anything comes out. If you're a big fan of a business or a musician or whoever I have on the show and you really want to see it and you don't want to wait 3 weeks till it comes out, you could buy a ticket for a couple dollars and then that goes into your fundraising.
Okay.
But podcasting in that regard and doing it in the format where we're doing it here, where I have a video I can strip the audio file from, opposed to only doing audio, then you have to make a visualizer video, and it's not that personal connection where if they see your face all the time, and it's coming with quality content and different perspectives and teaching people, then when they see your face saying, hey, donate here or subscribe here for X amount of dollars, they trust that face as opposed to that person that stands behind a visualizer screen.